Welcome back. We've got breaking news here at Night of Champions. What should be a fatal four-way for the Intercontinental Champion between our current hardcore champion, Dolph Ziggler, Baron Corbin,
Ric Flair and Kevin Nash.
Oh, that's right, Kevin Nash, and also Ric Flair, the current Intercontinental Champion, should be coming underway. But we've just got word via Ric Flair's Twitter that he's not even on the premises. That he left. He left with Evolution. Like, he didn't show up to Evolution's match, and he is gone. He left entirely, which is shocking, especially because we have the belt here. Like we have been setting up this match and have his belt, and he's already out.
The Intercontinental Championship is on the line, and he's not even here to defend it. Not showing nearly the champion's pride that he would have shown in the 80s. And speaking of champion, we had the news earlier that Dolph Ziggler had pinned Baron Corbin backstage for the Hardcore title. We had mentioned earlier in the show that Baron Corbin was the Hardcore champion, but Dolph Ziggler managing to steal it from him backstage right from below our noses.
That's not going to be cool for Baron Corbin.
Baron Corbin is not going to be happy with Dolph Ziggler.
You have poked a sleeping bear. To swipe that out from under the nose of Baron Corbin, a title that he's so proud of, is not going to be a good day for you to get in the ring with Baron Corbin right now. But that's Dolph Ziggler. He's a sneaky guy.
We don't know yet who will be replacing Ric Flair in this title match, but we have reason to believe that it should be the Heartbreak Kid, Shawn Michaels.
Really?
Yes.
Where does that come from?
Well, the thing is that Shawn Michaels has always been friends with Evolution leader Triple H.
Right.
They were, of course, in D-Generation X together. And I believe that even though Shawn Michaels is currently retired from professional wrestling and not really involved... You see, the fans already know. They've already heard. Even though he's not involved with Evolution, simply because he's no longer involved with it, he is glad to be there to defend their honor and to represent the Intercontinental Champion.
You think he's going to come back and clean up another one of Ric Flair's messes?
I think he'll do so gladly.
Really? I would be shocked.
He was honored to retire Ric Flair at WrestleMania 24 and has ever since then incorporated Ric Flair's knife-edge chops into his offense and all that sort of thing. He very strongly would love to defend the honor of Ric Flair, and I think if he wins the Intercontinental Championship, he will gladly give it back to Ric Flair.
Because Kevin Nash only came here for Ric Flair. Kevin Nash is only here.
Kevin Nash wanted to beat Ric Flair tonight.
To take Ric Flair's Intercontinental Championship.
Kevin Nash.
And to make sure that his own current day body double, Baron Corbin, does not win.
And Kevin Nash also, he beefing with Baron Corbin over the fact that they're basically the same person, and beefing with Ric Flair over who was the true face of WCW, because Ric Flair saying, I represented that company when it was great, and Kevin Nash saying, I was the most important man in the NWO, and I was the man who made that company the number one company in the world. And he's got to be furious that Ric Flair is not here tonight, but he will still fight with all of his heart.
I mean, if you're Big Daddy Diesel, I'm looking at this like, well, I only have to beat 2 people now to win this championship. But I don't know if he's heard the news.
That's another thing that's interesting, because him and Shawn Michaels are great friends. Him, Shawn Michaels, Triple H, X-Pac, and others, members of the Clique, the group of backstage wrestlers who exercised lots of power during the 90s. And yes, it is confirmed here, Shawn Michaels even showing up with the D-Generation X music to show us that his allegiance to Triple H is steadfast.
Wow. So that means that... what does that mean if HBK wins, though? If Shawn Michaels wins the match, does that mean that he is defending the title for Ric Flair, or does he just take it?
Well, it's very simple. Since Ric Flair has decided... we didn't really explain this very clearly, but... Ric Flair, since he decided to not defend his championship when he'd already been booked to, has been stripped of his title. He is no longer the Intercontinental Champion.
I think HBK would give it back to Ric Flair, though.
I agree. That's what I said earlier. I think Shawn Michaels
Flair knows.
Shawn Michaels has been Intercontinental Champion plenty of times. He has nothing left to prove as Intercontinental Champion.
Ric Flair knows that HBK is going to give that title back to him.
Ric Flair has the entirety of Evolution and D-Generation X right at the tip of his finger because he knows how much he is respected by that group of men.
But Evolution may have left a little too early tonight. If Evolution left to go party as the new tag team champions, they might come back and not be the Intercontinental Champion anymore.
And here's the thing: if Evolution or if Shawn Michaels doesn't win this match, then all of a sudden, Degeneration or Evolution is no longer in control of the Intercontinental Championship the way they were. Their Hubers having gotten the best of them.
This is going to be awesome.
And another story that we're ignoring completely, if anybody pins Dolph Ziggler to win this Intercontinental Champion, they're also the new Hardcore Champion. So perhaps Shawn Michaels will not only win back the Intercontinental Championship for Ric Flair, but also bring back the Hardcore Championship to Evolution.
Does that put a target on Dolph Ziggler's back in this match?
I think Dolph Ziggler's always got a head target on his back.
He's always the one who's going to get pinned, so...
Shawn Michaels probably looking to prove a point against his body double Dolph Ziggler here, but it looks like the young and old men are focusing on each other, their own age classes here to start the match.
I think the thing that we're ignoring is that Ric Flair might be doing the smartest thing. He sees himself, his belt on the line in a four-way, in a fatal four-way, and he leaves.
Ric Flair, as an Asian competitor, has a lot to lose. He could lose his title in this match, but he could also lose bodily functions and organs and bones. In fact, the fact that Kevin Nash is here, but the thing is that that's true for Ric Flair, but that's also true for Kevin Nash, whose quads are basically made out of chewing gum at this point.
Yeah.
And he is still here competing.
I think that Ric Flair has made a mistake. It was dishonorable to leave, but God, I can't blame him. That might be the smartest decision in this fight, because this fight is going to get violent. Anytime you have Baron Corbin in the ring, anytime that you have Big Daddy Diesel in the ring, things are going to get ugly. But that's why we have Dolph Ziggler and HBK in the ring, to make things beautiful again.
Keep things pretty. And it looks like it seems like everybody is just fulfilling their role right now. We have Pretty Boy versus
there's a
Ugly
pin on
Boy.
the outside of the ring.
Pin on the outside. Shawn Michaels had already had Kevin Nash pinned for well longer than a count of 3. But
I'm sorry,
the ref wasn't paying attention.
Our cheap OKGW refs are we don't pay much for them, honestly.
Yeah. Baron Corbin focusing on Kevin Nash, realizing that he's the old man in this contest with the weakest body.
Honestly, we told Dave that this was for exposure. Thanks, Dave.
Thanks, Dave. And thank you to WWE, of course, for loaning us their talents here tonight and letting us book their championships.
HBK putting that Russian leg sweep on Dolph Ziggler, just showing him that this is how it's done.
Oh, hitting him so hard that he goes onto the table. Dolph Ziggler with that classic overselling.
Is this
God, there's
pin?
2 pins.
Nope, one pin didn't go. The other pin doesn't go either. David, what are you doing out there?
Kevin Nash, pinned by Baron Corbin, didn't really need to kick out, but did anyway, just to prove his dominance over Baron Corbin as the younger competitor, saying that you are like me, but you are nothing like me.
Do you think the Baron of Corbin is looking to get a regal upgrade and become the Duke of Corbin?
And I think being the Intercontinental Champion would do that here, because he would have to be an international representative, and of course, only Dukes get to be international representatives in the monarchy hierarchy.
That's right.
Lots of violence going on here in this match. Kevin Nash just tossing around Baron Corbin the way that Baron Corbin usually tosses around jobbers on NXT, getting a little taste of his own medicine. Fall-away slam from Dolph Ziggler, doing Shawn Michaels' traditional kip-up right next to him. Has to be a huge insult. The ref not paying attention.
Ref not noticing the pin on the side of the ring.
Dolph Ziggler pinning Shawn Michaels for well longer than a count of 3.
And, of course, HBK waiting until just before the 3 count to kick out.
Wait a minute. Here's my question. I believe Dolph Ziggler was pinned earlier in this match for longer than a count of 3. Even if the ref didn't notice that, does that mean that somebody else is the hardcore champion right now?
No, the ref has to count it.
Interesting.
You can be pinned for years, but if there's no ref to count it and officiate it, it's not a pin.
That's true. I remember this being a controversy at one point on television, but I also remember that every time the Hardcore Championship changed hands, a referee was involved, despite the name of its title. Kevin Nash looking to set up probably the jackknife powerbomb on his old buddy Shawn Michaels. Oh, Dolph Ziggler breaking it up
and putting him into a pin.
Putting him into a weird arm
right in front of Diesel?
Thing. That was bizarre. That was awesome.
It was not necessarily strategically sound, but beautiful.
All of these men stuck here in this corner of the ring, and I can't imagine the damage that is being done to these bodies. Dave, please get out of there for your own sake.
Dave just trying to get out. Dave realizing he has to get back in, but is utterly confused by the mass of flesh.
Dolph Ziggler has been pinning Baron Corbin for a really long time.
I mean, that's the beauty of the Falls Count Anywhere match in the Fatal 4-Way. It means that the ref has to be able to officiate. And so these combatants need to strategically pin their opponents in a way that the other two wrestlers don't interfere and be able to access the ref.
But it also means that
they need to strategize.
It also means that even if you are pinned for longer than a count of 3, it doesn't matter because that's not the terms of victory.
No.
The ref has to count the fall. And so if a man decides to pin you on the mat with a ref not around, you can just take the chance to breathe. Dolph Ziggler with the sleeper hold on Baron Corbin.
A truly dramatic move, taking the life out of Baron Corbin.
And going back for the pin immediately after, again, with much longer than a count of 3. What do we have here? 2?
Is that it? Did he do it before everyone else could get involved? Dolph Ziggler just pinned the Baron of Corbin.
Dolph Ziggler just pinned the Baron of Corbin, and now he is your Intercontinental Champion.
As well as the Hardcore Champion. That dude knows how to get a pin tonight.
Oh, wait, he didn't pin the Baron of Corbin. Oh, wait, that was earlier in the match.
That was earlier in the match when Shawn Michaels had the pin for a long, long time, but not up to the 3 count. Here's another very long waiting fall while both parties had pins happening at the same time. Really, it just came down to whoever gets the last pin. All of these competitors had pins throughout the match. But did they have the ref's attention?
And I don't think we've seen the end of a feud even between these 4 men. I think these men still have a lot left to settle with each other because they were each pinning each other at least once in this match.
Even more, I think they have a lot of beef to settle with Dave. And Dave's going to have a lot to answer for tonight.
Dave is...
he was extremely exposed in this match, we could say.
Dave is yeah.
And there's the final pin. He's
not in good for a good week.
Diesel just distracted. Diesel and HBK just distracted. And they lost it because of that.
And Dolph Ziggler walking away with 2 pieces of hardware. Still the Hardcore Champion, and now your new Intercontinental Champion. What a night for Dolph Ziggler.
1 winner and a huge field of losers. Both Baron Corbin, Diesel, HBK, and Ric Flair. He defeated all of them tonight.
And
that is why we call this Night of Champions.
And he defeated the odds.
It's the best in the world.
And we'll be back.